Hi, my name is Robin Wong. I'm a photographer based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And this is the Nokia Lumia 1020. This was from more than 10 years ago. I'm curious to see how this 41 megapixels camera in this phone performed today. Let's do this. I found this Nokia 1020 in the used market at a very good price, and I bought it to be used as a compact camera. Obviously, this phone is outdated, and I wouldn't advise anyone to buy the Lumia 1020 to be used as a smartphone today. There's no longer any support or compatible apps for most of the modern applications today. However, Nokia, when they were still alive and active in making smartphones, they were always at the forefront of pushing camera hardware technologies. And there's no exception in this Nokia Lumia 1020. This smartphone features a 41 megapixels camera, and that image sensor itself has 2/3 inch size, which was impressive and perhaps the largest of all image sensors during that time. Pairing with the image sensor, there was this Carl Zeiss branded lens that is about 26 millimeters in equivalent focal length and has bright aperture f2.2, and it is also optically stabilized. Of course, this was launched more than 10 years ago. I'm curious to see if this hardware still stands today, still performs well today. This is why I brought this Lumia 1020 out for some street shooting actions at Kampong Baru. And here are some shots from this smartphone camera. I am a photographer, so I'm just going to focus on the imaging performance of this smartphone camera. Of course, this is not a review because there's no point for me to test this camera rigorously in various scenarios. And I just want to use this Lumia 1020 out on the streets, get some nice photographs and have fun. And based on my shooting experience and the images that I get from this smartphone camera, I want to share the things that I like and dislike about it. First of all, I really love the design of this Lumia 1020. I thought that the smartphone camera looks really sleek. It looks a little bit futuristic. I like the minimalist design of it. It's just so beautiful. Unlike all these modern smartphones that all look almost the same, it's like they're copying each other. There's this stereotypical design. I think they all look very boring. And even this was a 10 years old smartphone. I thought the design looks quite futuristic, looks very modern, and still stands the test of time. I understand the choice of color, the bright neon yellow is not suitable for street photography. If you use this on the streets, it just screams attention. So for those of you who like to hide away and try not to be intrusive and shoot from a distance, this may not be the best solution for you. But other than that, I really love the design. I thought it's really appealing. There's something different about it, and the uniqueness of the design is what makes this so beautiful. And this camera may be old, it may be more than 10 years ago now, but the 41 megapixels shooter in this Lumia 1020 is still quite impressive. It doesn't have all this modern HDR processing, it doesn't have the pixel binning, it doesn't have all this crazy 200 megapixels new sensor camera technology, whatever, right? But this hardware is still ahead of its time, and if you compare with a lot of results taken from today's smartphone, this Lumia 1020 is not lagging behind at all. The 41 megapixels images come out very, very sharp. I think it's thanks to the sharp Carl Zeiss lens. Images resolve plenty of fine details, very good contrast, and these pixels, 41 megapixels, they are true pixels. They are not fake, aggressive sharpening processing. They all look really good in my images, and you can really zoom in, pixel pip, and look at the details from far away, read words and sentences that's from really, really far away. You zoom in and you just see them really, really clearly. I am truly impressed with what this 41 megapixels image sensor can do, and I thought if I have this today, I'll still be very happy using it. Being an old camera, this Lumia 1020 comes with a series of problems. This is a slow performer. The autofocus, there is some delay and hesitation before the camera locks focus. And after we press the shutter button, there is a very clear shutter lag. So if you're shooting a lot of fast-paced action or moving subjects, if you want to capture a lot of critical moments, this Lumia 1020 may not be the best performer in that situation. The Lumia 1020 was also released before all this AI computational photography were around. So there was no HDR processing. When you use this camera in harsh lighting condition, dynamic range suffers. In the bright areas, it's very easy to get blown highlights, and in darker regions, the shadows just dip to black. And there's no way to recover details in the bright and shadow regions because, hey, I was shooting in JPEG like most people who use smartphone cameras do. We just set the smartphone camera to auto and snap away and hope for the best when you look at the straight out of camera JPEGs. My biggest complaint of any modern smartphone cameras today is over processing. There's too much noise reduction and over sharpening happening in all the images. They just wash out all the fine details. It looks very smooth, and there's just too much processing that makes the colors look so fake. I wish the smartphone manufacturers would tone down the processing so that the images will look more natural, or they will look like actual photographs. And that's not the case with this Lumia 1020. This was released before all this computational AI smart processing started to happen. I appreciate the images come out looking natural. There's no crazy processing happening. The pixels look really sharp. There's crazy high level of details. In fact, in terms of sharpness and level of fine details, I think this Lumia 1020 is still at the top, beating any modern smartphones out there today. You may come at me with evidence to show that I'm wrong in this claim, but looking at the images from this Lumia 1020, they were super sharp, and the details, man, they look so good. And above all, I appreciate that the images still look like images. They are photographs. They don't look fake. The colors look natural, and there's just don't have this crazy fake processing happening. And this hardware, although it's old, is still very good today. And I can't help but wonder if Nokia is still around, they might advance this even further, and we may get even better smartphone camera from Nokia. That's all to share about this Nokia Lumia 1020 41 megapixels camera. I did enjoy shooting with this camera on the streets, and if you have owned one before, do share your thoughts and experience in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. If you have benefited from my sharing, if you've enjoyed looking at my photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal. Links in the description below on how you can do that. Any small contribution goes a long way, will help me to continue making more content. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.